team headed by the Ministry of Health have continuously met, and of recent, they will start on Monday, which is this coming Monday. They will start doing an assessment of all of the different areas that is responsible for hoarding, issue of rehabilitation centers. They will map out all the rehabilitation centers that it is in the country. So to those of you who are working in those lines, who have been providing services for people who found themselves in ghettos, it will be important to reach out to the Ministry of Health to be able to work together on that. Interestingly, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, as well as our international partners, we're all working on these same areas before. So the Ministry of Health team that is leading the effort on the issue of drugs and alcohol addiction by young people, they will be working in consonance of one another, because one of the things that the President has stressed for this administration is to ensure coordination between line agencies and ministries, so that at the end of the day, everyone is contributing to the bigger portion of the pie, so that you can do your bit and the rest of the other people do their part. Finally, as you've heard, His Excellency the President has requested the legislature for the allowance of the usage of at least $4.3 million. So showing that the government doesn't shut down, that the government runs. And we're hoping that the legislature will expedite that process to continue to work in the interest of the Liberian people. So far, those are the key issues I wanted to touch on today. Should you have questions around those subjects, or the generality of other issues, feel free to engage us, and we will have your questions answered. Thank you very much for coming, and I look forward to our continuous engagement with all of you.
The voice of the Presidential Press Secretary, Madam.
So we will have
Kula Fofana
from our office to coordinate the questions and answer period. So you will call your name and your institution you represent and ask your question. And please be succinct with your question, so you allow your colleagues to ask as well. Thank you.
Madam Kula Fofana there, and of course,
good afternoon.
questions will begin.
I report for King Stephen and Maurice Gascombra. A day or two ago, the social media in Liberia went socially amok with information that were provided on the website of both the Facebook pages of the Executive Mansion. I wanted to clarify the issue of the President meeting the Ghanaian leader for a 2-day working visit versus the President meeting the Vice President of Ghana. Can you please clarify to the public? Thank you so much.
Question number 1 there, and this is the regular press briefing, Executive Mansion.
My name is Anthony.
Presidential Press Secretary.
My name is Anthony J. Fan for ABC Radio. Additionally to the question asked by Mr. Brown, the communication sent to the Liberian legislature said the President was going to Ghana for 2 days. The President spent a day. How can you address that? Thank you.
Questions will continue, but it's the regular.
Hello. My name is Mark. My name is Mark Nagomfe, and I report for the New Republic newspaper. Madam Presidential Press Secretary, I want to know, you said the team will be mapping up rehabilitation centers. What exactly are we expecting from them? What's the government planning setting up more rehabilitation centers because they fight against drugs? Need more rehabilitation centers. That's 1. 2. I read on a newspaper that the EPS is expected to reduce its force by 500. Can you address this?
questions will continue.
Thank you so much, Madam PPS. My name is Sombon and I report for Crown FM. And yesterday we saw images on the social media of His Excellency the President in conversation with High Command of the Armed Forces of Liberia. We are yet to get any information surrounding that meeting. 2, how soon do we expect to see the new Defense Minister? Thank you.
The Presidential Press Secretary
Thank you. I'm Julius Compton
will be jotting down
on
notes.
Fortune Television. To follow up to that question, one of the local dailies reported allegedly that the retired and Aztec defense minister was coerced to resign. I'd like to get clarity from the office of the president whether he was coerced to resign. And to one of my questions, the deputy minister for the Ministry of States during a confirmation hearing told members of the national legislature that over 700 ghost names were discovered on the payroll here at the Ministry of State. I'd like to know which yardstick did she use, and if can there be any provision for information to the public. And lastly, from my end, nominated government officials that have been confirmed and as per Constitution should have been commissioned by now by the President, but they are currently working. Are there any reasons why? Thank you.
And if you just
Thank you
join
very
us.
much. I will begin with your last question. You know, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia provides the basis for which the presidency can do certain things. For example, on the issue of the role of the president appoints or nominates in the first instance, as I said earlier, the Senate confirm and the president appoints. So that is the constitutional provision. On the issue of commissioning, it's just a ceremonial aspect. The fact that these people have been appointed and they've gone through the confirmation hearing, they already have that authority given to them by His Excellency, they are allowed to do that. And on the issue of the commissioning, it's going to happen very soon, as soon as possible time. Commissioning will happen. So on the issue of 700 ghost names, I hope you were part of or you did fully listen. She never said that there was 700 ghost names. But what she did say clearly was that the department realized that there were over 700 employees who were not, or 700 persons who were not covered under the civil service, process. They were not employees, they were not officially employed under the government, and that they were being paid from the supplementary budget, and they were being managed by someone from the Ministry of Finance, and that particular period was managed by someone from the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of State at the time. So it is not that there is 700 ghosts, but these are actual people who are within the system of the Ministry of State. And to give you a brief update, by Monday, the Civil Service Agency, along with the Ministry of State and the GAC, I'm sure they will be coming here to conduct personnel audits. So they will be expected, people who are here will be expected to provide the information of their work, what work they're doing, how they employ, the employment information and all of that, so that we're able to put system in place. So that is, the information as we will provide them. On the question of whether or not the Minister of Defense was coerced to resign, I think at this point we need to get to a point where we're all able to receive and believe information that is given. I say this to mean that, in the press statement released by the Executive Mansion, we all know the former Defense Minister did tender in his resignation, and the President received the resignation letter and accepted it, and even praised the Defense Minister at the time. And there's no time the President never and will not, and in fact, you listen to this statement, it was very clear when the President spoke to the nation. He said that even the political question of his resignation or his taking off of the job was not being considered, when the women brought in a petition. So we'd like to inform you that at no point in time that the minister was coerced by the president. And one of the things that I keep telling all of us, especially those of us who are covering the mansion and even beyond, is that we will not be in the business of responding to gossips or hearsay or information posted on social media, because some of the comments, and I will encourage journalists to be more research-based, to get information for yourself and not just rely on a social media post. Let's get to the business of doing due diligence to topics so that you can be quoting somebody saying something on social media. And I've said this countless times, we'll not be in the business of responding or all the time reacting to this individual, accusing this or assuming this happened. But with the fact, we will provide you the facts. We'll tell you, we will inform you of the workings of the presidency. And that is what we're going to do. That is what we signed up to do, and we'll continue to do that. On the question of how soon the new defense minister, I hope, again, it comes back to the due diligence. I'm sure you listened to the president's speech. In that particular speech, he did appoint an acting defense minister, who is Madam Geraldine George of the Ministry of Defense. So she's acting minister. On the question of meeting with the AFL, the meeting with the AFL happened during the course of the discussion at the time when in fact, it was the very same day that the then Minister of Defense tendered in his resignation. So that the photographs you saw online was the meeting of that day. There hasn't been a new meeting held with the AFL. As the president has said during his message, was that the committee, a team had been set up to be able to investigate the situation that's happened. Until that committee reports back, the security team is working along with the team to ensure that all of that is clear. On the issue of 500, EPS will be reduced by 500. Well, right now, as I've mentioned, the issue of the bloating of the civil service or people who are within different line ministries and agencies is not even only with the Ministry of State. It cut across many ministries and agencies of government. And one of the issues the team from the EPS have consistently also said is the overcrowdedness of the EPS with people who may not necessarily have that qualification or the training. So one of the proposals is that they're going to do again an assessment of the entire EPS code, because the EPS is an executive protection service. You should be trained and up to the standard and up to the task to be able to fill that role. So yes, the EPS is also reviewing their personnel portfolio, and they will be updating us, will be updating His Excellency on the next course of action. But there's just that there are different things that have happened, and different things will happen over the course of the time, such as the training, more training for EPS, as I said last week. And you will see some semblance of professionalism in all of our security apparatuses, especially so with the EPS. On the issue of the rehabilitation center, what the Ministry of Health, along with the committee, will begin on Monday is an assessment to know where the institutions that say they're doing rehabilitation programs are. So, for example, if you say you're doing program around rehabilitation, so once you map out across the country, once you map out who are the people, supporting or doing these kinds of interventions, it will be good. Now you have that. Then you will do also another assessment to know where the ghettos are. How are substances coming into this country? Where the poorest boulders? How do we collaborate with our partners to ensure that there is a holistic program? So the assessment for the rehabilitation centers is just one of many other different activities that the committee is going to do. On the issue of the president's visit, I've said this. Yes, we did release a press statement. It's open. All of you can go through the press statement and see. Again, like I said, we will not be responding to hearsay and they say and social media say. Yes, the president did write the Senate informing the Senate of his visit. In fact, we should all be happy because the president said, I want to that day, one day, so at least, but the fact remains the president went for a short visit that was not an official or state visit. It was a working visit, and he went to Ghana, and he's back in his country, and is doing the people's business. On the issue of meeting the vice president of Ghana versus the president, if you work in this space, that's why I was talking to some journalists the other day, this is a fast-paced environment. You'll have a meeting, upon meeting, you'll meet this other person, you'll meet the other person, and of course, the president did have a meeting with the vice president of Ghana, and other dignitaries. Again, the meeting or the engagement or the president's travel wasn't an official state visit. It wasn't a national visit. It was a one-day working visit. So I think we should keep it at that. And the president is working. This year, he's back doing his business for the Liberian people. So we'll take another round of questions, the final round, and then call it a day. Yes,
right,
where is
round.
So my name is Arvin Wosi and I work for the Daily Observer. I'd like you to elaborate on the personnel or the issue. Are there plans to accommodate those who are not on civil service but been taking money in the district state here? Second, we're getting more news about government officials declaring their assets. Is the president concerned about that, and what is he doing?
Can you speak the concern?
So there's not much news about government officials declaring their assets. Is the president concerned about that, and what is he doing?
Questions? I'll continue.
Okay, my name is Vasta Talu of UBC Radio of the Liberia Broadcasting System. I want to know, like yesterday, the president met with the heads of formation, and one of the things they talked about was the issue of salary allowance and rent and everything. So how soon is the president going to address that concern?
First, Talu.
Thank you. My name is Mekonfi again. In 1975, the Liberian legislature passed a law that each county should have one ministerial position. And Councillor Tiawon Gonglo raised this issue. Has this reached the ears of the president? And if so, what's the concern like?
This is the Executive Mansion regular press.
Thank you very much, Madam Press Secretary. My name is Joseph Daniels, and I report for OKFM. I would like for you to please clarify as to what makes the president travel based on his recent travel to Ghana. And also the 2016 local law states that the chief executive officer and the president of the company is responsible to appoint the two vice presidents, because that was done by President Boakai. Can you please clarify as to on what authority the president appointed those two vice presidents? Thank you.
Questions will continue.
How are you, madam? I'm Romeo from Kula TV, and I have two major concerns. The first concern is the president visit to Ghana. What was the urgency attached to the visit that the president left in the way in which he left? And secondly, why are we not getting an insight of the discussion that was held in Ghana? Two, concerning the budget that the president wrote the House about to pass, there are an institution that are highlighted within the budget that the president asked to be audited. And within the budget plan that he's trying to put with it not and bring some hauling and pulling out, we are operating in the old budget or that's the new budget that was spending.
And if you're watching, keep on watching. You're locked down to...
My name is Anthony Jeffan, again from ABC Radio.
Executive.
Sorry, Anthony. Do we have any other person who had a question so we can give everybody an opportunity? So one person can be asking. Okay, I don't see any hand there. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got it.
Yes. So at the graduation ceremony of the United Methodist University in Mangibi, there was an incident. That incident was reported that those officers on ground or on duty were reassigned. Up to today's date, we've not gotten any update about the investigation or initiated by your office or the EPS. When I say your office, the president's office. Thank you.
Yes, Madam Kula Fofana, receiving questions from the media.
Yeah, thank you again. I'm Julius Compton. There are increasing concerns relative to electricity. Is the president also concerned about that particular issue? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for all those concerns and comments. On the issue of electricity, trust me, all of us concerned because it's not been, we're in the dry season. The president as well is very concerned about that. In fact, he have had engagement and continues to speak with the authorities in the sector, people who are in those sectors, to give some update on where we are with the aspect of electricity, what's the challenges, what's going on, because we all know that it's important, especially so the current situation of the dry season is very hot, and we've not even gotten into the main dry season just yet. So yes, he's concerned and steps taken towards that. On the issue of UMU security, to say that you have not had update, I think it would be unfair to us because at every press conference when questions around that have been asked, we gave him update. And the thing with security investigation, and especially investigations around the subject, around the president, it takes some time. And it's a detailed investigation that is ongoing, and it's still ongoing because it's not just about the individual or that particular incident. There's a whole perimeters of everything else that happened. So that investigation is still ongoing, and those people, as I told you the last time, is that they're still on reassignment. And in fact, there was a question around the number of personnel within the EPS. Those are some of the issues that have come out during the course of those investigations. So you will hear, a number of different issues that have come out, but the investigation is an ongoing and a very active investigation happening. On the issue of the institutions who the president has requested GSC to audit, and why is it that they have resources, for the portion that the president asked. Even if they ask you about audit, it doesn't mean your whole operation should stop. Even if you say, let's audit, for example, like we having personnel audit supposed to happen at the Ministry of State, but people are still coming to work. People have to come to work. People have to show up, to ensure that the part of the bargain is fulfilled. So it's in that context. So even if the president asks to audit this institution, it doesn't mean that you have to shut down all the operation. You have to not do your work. People don't have to show up to job and just sit back and wait until they, anybody suggest that it won't be the best suggestion. Again, I don't know how you all want me or what you all want me to say about the Ghanaian travel. I've said this countless of times. And one of the things that I really would encourage our journalists to do, because like I said, you all help to set the narrative. And it's important for us to be able to shift the conversation on the important matters that the Liberian people want to hear. And some of the questions that you're asking, like electricity, like food, rights, and all these different things, those are paramount things that the Liberian people care about. And it's important that you help to shift the conversation. The president did travel to Ghana for a one-day working visit. He has gone, he has come back, he continued to do the work of the Liberian people. So what would it be important for you to ask those critical questions that the Liberian people care about? The Liberian people care about how to ensure that the issue of rice prices reduced, and there are plans happening on that. The Liberian people wants to know about the 100-day deliverable on the no-car stop in the mud theory. So from theory to practice, how do you ask those critical questions around those things? And this is something I'm really hoping that over the course of the time, and this is not for us telling you what to do or what not to do or censoring the media or selecting specific topic, but at the end of the day, besides me being a journalist, besides me being in the position that I'm in, we're all Liberians. We all go back to our homes and families. So the important thing is about you all being able to help us inform the public on the key subject. All of the journalists, the newspapers, people who write, and instead of being speculative and listening to gossip here, saying this one, shift the conversation to the important matter and hold the government accountable for the promises that we make. And for that, I will really be helpful. I mean, it will be helpful for the Liberian people. And that's one of the things we will do, we'll continue to do, especially for all of you who are in this press war. On the question of by what means the president traveled. Of course, the president did not walk from here to go to Ghana. He flew to Ghana. So, I mean, again, this Ghanaian thing, he went on a visit, on a working visit. I don't know how you say it, if I was speaking in Va or Ghanaian, but President Tawa Ghana Anje. No, I mean, that's just besides the issue. And then somebody talk about the issue of the 1975 law. I've not seen it. It's something that I would appreciate you sharing with me about each county having one ministerial post. And some of our laws, over time, they've been amended. And there are new laws, some laws have been repealed. So I've not seen this. So please share with us. And in terms of, I think the bigger question here, I don't think it's only about the law, but the bigger question about the appointment of officials that are representing the different counties. And I think as the appointment continues, the president is really concerned about ensuring that Liberians across the aisle, in every part of our country, work around being part of the government. And he takes that very seriously. On the issue my sister raised about the foreign mission, and the situation of our foreign mission is really challenging. Some of you who have traveled to our foreign mission, sometimes they put a whole country under foreign business. There was a recent situation with Belgium, and there are lots of other situations with staffing, with their services, with personnel, with materials for them to operate. And it's something when the Minister of Foreign Affairs, along with the heads of mission, met His Excellency, those were concerns that they pulled forward. And he has also commented. And besides that, Liberia is also a part of the global community and part of these regional organizations. It will interest you to know that Liberia owes regional organizations serious money. Every country is supposed to contribute, for example, to ECOWAS, to the AU, to all these different international organizations. And it is not a good thing for our country. So this is something that the president is concerned about, all of those issues. And as you know, generally in our sector, everywhere got problems. And the president is committed to solving this problem a day at a time and systematically. It's not going to happen overnight, but he's definitely concerned. He's looking for ways in which bilaterally those institutions can function because they're representing the country, they're flying the country flag really high. On the issue of access declaration for officials of government, this is something that he takes very seriously. As you all know, the president declared his assets, and he will be ensuring that his ministers, it's just the right thing to do. So the ministers who have already gone through the confirmation hearing and you've been confirmed, it's good that you declare your assets. It won't look good that a bossman will call you to say, oh, why you declare your assets? So it's a good thing that it's important that ministers, deputy ministers, people who've been appointed in government to declare their assets. Personnel payroll for the Ministry of State. I think it was in the context of, who asked the question about personnel payroll?
Yes. Yeah, concern about as to whether they will still be accommodated.
Oh yes, so whether they will still be accommodated. Again, what's happening is a joint assessment going on with doing a full situation. So one of the things that this government is really keen about, the interest is not to fire everybody. But the interest is when you're hiring, hire through the proper channel. hired through a merit-based system. So if you say you're working, you have a credibility or your credentials in this area, you should be able to, and then it should be where the institution needs your expertise. And then you can be duly hired and serve your country. And where needed, where necessary, CSA will go through, because some of us, before we enter the government, we have to sit the civil service test. A lot of people who are employed, they went through the civil service, the CSA. We have to be able to ensure that people who are coming to serve, to go through these processes. So the team, once that assessment is done, that personnel audit is done, there will be a recommendation. And at that time when the recommendation is given by the team, we will be able to inform you. That's why we're even continuing this, regular update. So as new actions, new policies, new activities, new events happen, we are able to inform you. So I think that was the final question, and I want to thank all of you for please. I want to thank all of you for this opportunity. Again, please, we try as much as possible to do 2 rounds of questions. If you see you got to write them down, you do your first batch. Make sure you bring in all your good questions. The second opportunity, send it to me. Let's keep it going. And besides, if you still have really questions, we can talk about it. I can answer your question. But we want to close this, press conference here and continue next week. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend.
That's the voice of Madam Kula Fofana. She's the Presidential Press Secretary, His Excellency the Liberian leader, Ambassador President Joseph Nyumah Boakai. And my name is Emmanuel Kippard. I'm right here with you on the Executive Mansion platform. We'd like to say thanks a million for viewing. And until next time, keep us right on top of it. Once again, I'm Emmanuel Kippard, and do have a pleasant day. Thank you.